This is Peggy Childers, Margaret Ann Windsor. I'm continuing this showing you the harassment using the government and the government agencies. Um, this is Eric Smith over the years in the forestry. This is just one of the times that they give me a violation and you don't really see what's going on. The people do here, but on the surface, if you're just looking at this, and the way the news has reported it, you don't get a view of anything. This is just where I have tried to show what's been done to me. Larry Flint wrote an article because I was trying to tell about what the government did to me and the programming and killing of programming people to shoot and kill. But they've used the government agencies to harass and really kill me. Um, and Bob Goodlatte was the U.S. Um, House of Representatives here. He was over the forestry, the agriculture. He knew everything that was going on to me. He's over that. They're law enforcement. The rangers are. Your food stamps are under that agency. When I went to him on several occasions, and believe me, he knows who I am. A man followed me out to the elevator and said, if he helps you, referring to Goodlatte, he said he's afraid he'll be out on the street with you, just like you. Now then, he's in Congress, and I think he's on the Judicial Committee. And where am I? I'm getting gassed. Seriously. Okay, this is from a friend of mine, Jack Hartsville, and I don't think, he's been through hell himself. I don't think he'll mind. He sent it to me for this reason, several letters. He lives in California now. Go ahead and say it. Here he's referring to a much bigger picture. Went back to the earlier than Sheriff David Hedrick or Bulldog Daniel, who was killed with mind control. Except Bulldog Daniel was a deputy under Patterson. When I worked for the district attorney there, Patterson was the one that did the background check and all that, and I went to work for the DA. Anyway, Daniel was murdered with mind control. It's who's doing it, the government agency that's doing it. But I'm going to read this. They don't want to get involved. They go after me, believe me. So Jack was a reporter, and to me he's very honest, and he suffered for it. He's also a federal agent. Oh, okay, let's see. I got to get to this so I don't waste the tape here. And I can keep you all going because it's really a bad thing that's happened. He's referring to me, and he says, you are indeed trying to pull back the curtains on some very nasty, clandestine, bizarre, and dangerous happenings in Huntsville. That's the Space Center. So to discredit you and later me, the logic of some very sinister people was simply to go to any length to destabilize your life, make you appear to be nuts, loony, schizophrenic, paranoid, to break you, if at all possible, psychologically and emotionally. I know that feeling all too well. I'm going to skip on down to, you may not know this, but during that period of time when our paths crossed in Huntsville, Huntsville was considered the third most sensitive area in the nation where national security was concerned. After all, it's the guts of the U.S. space program, the home of anti-ballistic missile research projects, the location where every Army tactical missile system field anywhere in the free world was managed, where security leaks of sensitive data were occurring far too often, where the Army's Missile and Mutation Center and school operated, and where J. Edgar Hoover's FBI Division 5, a super-secret police agency, had operated since the early 1940s. I was kidnapped in 41 and taken to Moulton, which is 40 miles from there. In fact, it was so sensitive that it did not exist, like Area 51, right? And links to Washington, D.C., New Orleans, Dayton, Ohio. Um, let's see, there was one more I wanted to read on here. Sometimes the cloak of national security can be seriously abused, not to protect the nation's secrets, but to hide and bury blunders, even some very blurry conspiracies that more than hinted at heavy criminal involvement in the defense contracting. What's kidnapping me, and torturing me, a monarch, and using me to carry out the crimes against the UK? Makes them the hostages, and Sweden and Denmark, and right where this is going on with Obama, they're pretending to be their friend. They moved in their missiles and army bases when they kidnapped me all over Great Britain. He's talking here, Jack is, about Jim Garrison, which was Jack Kennedy, and Kennedy's dad helped kidnap me. He says here, still another program tried to research effort called Psychotronics in the U.S. and formerly called Psychotectronics by the later defunct Soviet Union, was pursued using electronic frequencies, low-level frequencies, in some case in what is called brainwave enhancement, entrainment. The concept can implant fear, lethargy, manic moods, even deep depression, unexplained paranoia. So these are things that are done under mind control. They have nothing to do with mental illness. Yet you go to a psychiatrist and they're going to put you on drugs so heavy that have nothing to do with what's been done to you. You have to stop the programming. Any fool knows that. Any of the doctors knew it. Sorry, but that's the plain truth. A gentleman named Nikolai Tesla was researching psychotronics as far back as the 30s. The Soviet Union at one time wound up with most of his research, well, after his death, but the FBI had it for a long, long time. So I don't know that Soviet Union ever had it, but Jack says that. But I've seen since where the FBI has it, and it's true. That's, in my judgment, you were one of those who likely had been targeted by MK Ultra. At quiet moments, I do try to make a grounded assessment of all the above. If the dastardly events above, particularly as related to the FBI's Division 5, and that's who has it, and they're not all the bad guys. I mean, they've done the murders, but hey, and they've done the programming and a lot of stuff that was done to me. But the people of this country have stood by, and because I'm British, because they committed the crime, and to tell it would bring them down. Their credibility, they wouldn't have any. The people of this country did it to me. They're still doing it to me. So let me see if I've got a few more minutes on this. And I want to get into just, you can't imagine, no one, and most of them don't care here. Hey, been there, done it. So I'm going to cut this off and go, while I can, to another one and just give you a day or a week out of my life of trying to live and find my children and tell them the truth.